The vibes. Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K23.
And another roll. I'm not letting you get through this. What is going on? What is going on with the road game? Do you got to deal with what is going on, Bo?
Like, you know what? I don't yet.
You said another one, and now you got another one on.
Any of these road companies watching this, hit me up. I want the Versace joint. You see Marcus Smart pull up to the arena in the Versace robe last season? That's what I need to be flexing in. That's what I need. Versace, hit me up.
What is going on?
DJ, let me give you guys some context, okay? The time is currently 5:49 a.m. here in the UK. I'm comfortable. Come on, man. I ain't getting dressed up to do. This show is like mostly listened on audio anyway. So if you see me on the video, shout out to you. If you hear me on audio, I'm bringing you these sounds in style and comfort. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's I just want to make sure I'm not missing something here. I mean,
no, it's
got
all
the
good.
robe game on. I should have my robe on, you know?
Hey, bro, you can do it, man. You can do it. That's a new segment for the podcast. But it's up here at 5:50 in the morning. And we've just seen two blockbuster games in the NBA.
Okay.
The Bucks and the Sixers, Giannis and Embiid, and then the battle for LA, the Clippers and the Lakers. BJ, which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's go in order of the game. Let's go Philly, Milwaukee.
Well, a very low-scoring game by today's standards. Neither team cracked 100 points. Here's what stood out to me. It goes without saying, because we've said this hundreds of times. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player on earth. That's all it comes down to. The greatest player on earth right now. He might not win MVP, but he's the greatest player on earth. And speaking of MVP, Joel Embiid, for the second game in a row, is making me regret picking him as one of the MVP candidates for this season. BJ, Embiid went, 6 from 21 from the field, 1 from 3 from downtown, was a -10 while he was on the court. There's something that didn't look right. I know he had a concussion in the playoffs when their season ended last year, but something just doesn't look right to me about Joel Embiid. It's just early season and he'll work his way in, but what's going on with the big man?
I think it's early season, and there's an adjustment here. James Harden is a different player. I said it, and I'll say it again. If this team is going to go as far as the expectations, which is getting to the conference final, not getting to the NBA finals, I think this team is a championship caliber team. They're going to need Tyrese Maxey to take this over. I firmly believe that Maxey is going to have to impose the way they play. I don't like the pace in which they play right now.
You want to see them play faster?
I want to see them play faster. I think they are deep. I think they have a good team, but they're playing too slow. It's kind of, and what I mean by that is James Harden has imposed his will on these first two games. By the way, James Harden looks much improved. He looks like old James Harden right now.
We said it after game one. He's back. Back with a vengeance.
However, I think this team needs to play faster. I think they need more. The ball needs to get popping, get moving, get Joel Embiid moving, flashing, doing all those things. And I think that is going to have to rely on the shoulders of Tyrese Maxey. I think they're going to have to really get themselves going if they're going to take advantage. But you're right. In the first two games, Joel Embiid doesn't look like Joel Embiid. But it's only two games. I don't want to push the panic button this early.
Yeah, I think it's way too early to push the panic button. And we also have to give some credit to the Milwaukee defense. A big point of emphasis for them this season is taking away threes. The Sixers only managed to get up.
In particular.
Yeah. The Sixers only managed to get up 24 threes and convert only 5 of them. Brook Lopez, it's good to see him healthy to start the season out there. Still no Middleton, so it's good to see the potential of this team, and also Connaughton as well. So, what stood out to you from a Milwaukee perspective? Bobby Portis came off the bench nicely. Drew Holiday, once again, given how talented he is, going 2 from 15 from the field, it's just a little bit frustrating. You know what I mean? Because you know how good he can be, but seeing him miss these opportunities
But
is a
you
little
know
bit
what?
frustrating.
You know what I like about Drew Holiday, and what I like about players like Drew Holiday is he impacts the game whether he shoots well or plays well on the offensive end, or he doesn't. And that is a lesson to be learned by all players, especially young players. Don't allow your offense to dictate on whether you play well or not. You'll look by the numbers, like you said, Mo, and you'll go, oh, wow, he didn't shoot the ball well. However, if you watch this game, he was very impactful. They held the Sixers team to under, 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some pretty nice weapons on that team. And and Drew Holiday took on that matchup. Okay. This guy guards the other team's best perimeter player more times than not. And he took on that matchup. So when you put that much emphasis on your defense, like he did, you're going to suffer on the other end more times. Then you're going to play well on both ends. So give them credit. And the thing that's amazing, I just want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who's there. They have guys out. Chris Middleton in particular is a big one, an all-star caliber player. They go into Philly and they win. I mean, this kid, Giannis, it doesn't matter who's playing. Mo, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to go out there in your robe and figure out. and the guy, he'll play. He'll just play with anybody. It doesn't matter. And you know what's scary about it? He's not even playing well yet. He's like, I don't even have my rhythm yet. He goes in there. He takes on the challenge. It doesn't matter who he's playing against.
Did you see the first play of the game? His first bucket of the game, where he hit a running hook shot. When I saw him come down the lane like this, I said, if he masters that, it's over.
It's just, I mean, he has to be such a joy to coach, because this guy plays to win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Giannis plays to win.
Mm-hmm.
He just brings it. Okay. He competes. He plays through adversity. He gets everyone involved. I mean, he just does it all. He's without question my favorite player to watch play every night, because he just brings it. And it doesn't matter who's playing with him. I didn't expect him to win this game. And he comes out and he does it, wins it. And it was a great win by them in their, this is their first game
season opener. Yeah, season opener.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though, just going back to the Sixers real quick. Second game in a row where their bench was massively outscored by the other team's bench. The other team, the Celtics, put up like 30 plus. The Bucks bench put up 30 something. Tonight, the only production they got off the bench was De'Anthony Melton and Daniel House Jr., who got 13 points between them. You talked about before the season about their depth and how excited you were to see some of these guys. What's going on with that? Because
it's been interesting. It's been interesting. Because I think Montrez, I thoroughly thought Montrez is a guy, or he has been a guy who can anchor your second unit. Now, if it's one thing he can do is score off the bench and play. For some reason, they're not playing. It's almost more like, I think if they played faster, they would get more possessions. More possessions would get more people involved. Right now, Mo, they're just playing too slow. Like when I watch them play, I mean, every single time down, they're getting in a set. Run, get out, get some fast breaks. Let's get some combinations. Let's get some, get some contribution from other guys. Right now, it's kind of like, okay, Harden's turn. Okay, Joel's turn. Okay, Maxi's turn. And then they're just like rotating right now. Get out and get going. I think they got to get the pace of the games sped up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I also, I think that is tough when you've got to play like Embiid, when you want to get him going and you want to get him some post-up looks that you'd want to slow things down a little bit. But It's going to be interesting to see how your coach of the year pick Doc Rivers manages to navigate this, because the Sixers
Wait a minute, let me
are
get that
0-2 right
knife out of
now.
let me get that knife out of my back. Okay, all right.
Man, that was good. But let's talk about the other game of the evening, the Clippers versus the Lakers. You just spoke about Drew Holiday, who made a fantastic impact on the game without scoring the basketball much, because of what he did on the defensive side of the ball. And I want to begin this segment talking about this game by showing some love to Russell Westbrook, because people are going to wake up and see the stat sheet of him going 0 from 11 from the field, 0 from 6 from downtown. But he guarded Kawhi Leonard just about as well as you've seen anyone guard him over the past couple seasons. We've seen Kawhi Leonard
He
play.
made some shots tonight that were just crazy, though.
Kawhi did
he
make
made
some
a couple of shots.
But
He made some shots.
First of all, Kawhi coming off the bench, new 6th man of the year.
You think you got Kawhi Leonard and John Wall coming up your bench? How about that for depth?
Yeah, it's insane. But Russell Westbrook, when he was matched up with Kawhi, I was impressed by what he did. Maybe the Clippers' lack of being able to throw entry passes contributed to that. You know, there was one point, there was like a timeout. I opened my phone, I seen Twitter, and there was just like 10 tweets saying entry passes, ? It was interesting. Like, so the Lakers lost, obviously, again.
Right.
But the Clippers played awfully, in my opinion, because they had, let me get the numbers here. They had 21 turnovers and they missed 11 free throws. They're just lucky they were playing against the Lakers tonight, because against a competent NBA team, they don't come away with a win. So what stood out to you in this one?
Well, what stands out to me most is I'm talking to a guy in a room, and I just can't. I mean, that's what really stand. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I got unfocused again. This robe is.
I'm going to come in a 3-piece suit next week for BJ.
It's going to take me some time. It's going to take me some time to get used to this robe. Well, what stood out to me is the depth of the Clippers. I mean, Mo, this is a deep team. John Wall showed flashes. Now it's making me wonder, like, why weren't more teams trying to acquire John Wall? I mean, he looks fresh. You saw bursts of speed, shot the ball well from mid-range, from deep, got to the basket. I mean, I was like, okay. But if anything stood out in watching this game, is this Clipper team, they're for real. Now, obviously, they haven't proven as a group, you know, they have championship caliber players over there. But as a group, though, Mo, you got to say them and the Clippers, after watching, I think everyone is
they
played
are the Clippers
by now, right? The Clippers and the Warriors now.
Yeah.
They look like the two best teams right now. You know, if you just looked on paper.
Should I tell you one advantage they have as well is they have the size, because they out-rebounded. They almost had 30 rebounds more than the Lakers did. And a big reason for that was Ivica Zubac, who grabbed 17 of them.
Yeah, he's really been a good
the best part, the Lakers traded Zubac to the Clippers as part of a salary dump, and I think they got Mike Muscala in return. So I was watching this thinking, you know, we talk about Anthony Davis playing at the 4. How perfect would it be to have a player like Zubac at the 5 alongside him? Oh, wait, you had him and you got rid of him.
I was thinking earlier today, Mo, how many players the Lakers have gotten rid of, like young guys? Like, so you got Kyle Kuzma, Zubac, Jordan Clarkson,
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram.
Well, I mean, you're not too mad about Brandon and Lonzo, because you got AD in return and you won your bubble championship. So
Julius Randle. I mean, they've gotten rid of some really, really good players. Now, you know, at some point here, I was thinking about that. I was watching Zubac and I was like, God, he was a Laker. He was like at one point their third string center at one point. So, you know, I don't know what to say about the Lakers, but I'll say this. They play it hard, but they're just short. They're just short. They're short on talent.
Short shooting. Well, we say they're short shooting.
I don't think it's shooting.
They put up 100 threes in the first 2 games of the season. Tonight, they made 9 of their 45 threes. And this is a team where LeBron came out after the first game and talks about this team's lack of shooting, saying, we know we're not elite shooting, but they continue to take these threes. I don't understand.
You have in today's game, you have to make threes. Okay, Coach Ham comes from a place, he's coached under there in Milwaukee where they have to take a certain amount of threes to win the game. That's just no doubt about it. Okay, you can't just make all 2s in today's game and win. So you have to take those threes. We could say they don't have this, they don't have that. But again, Mo, you and I talk about it. Okay, you mean to tell me as they are going through free agency and so forth and so on, that their star players in particular don't have some level of input on who they are going after and what they're trying to do? Let's stop that. So I don't want to hear today or tomorrow what they don't have. Here's the team. Mo. All summer, all I heard was championship. Up until after game 1, and all of a sudden now you're telling me what we don't have. I'm not going down there.
Well,
I didn't think they were a championship.
At least Patrick Beverley has assured Laker fans after the game that they will make the playoffs this season. Patrick Beverley, who's joined the Lakers and so far in his Lakers career had 8 points and 9 fouls.
Right.
I just think if you're the Lakers, right, and you've not got shooters, you just have to be an elite defensive team and get out and run, because they do look good in transition. There's some possessions, but they get stopped. Russell's on the fast break. Lonnie Walker's there. LeBron's there. And they look good on the fast break. But it's just when it gets to the half court, it looks so predictable, so stagnant at times. They're not going to be a good half court team, right? Unless you just want to clear out and let LeBron work one-on-one, I guess. Okay, so we talk about the Sixers needed to play a quicker pace. I think it's the Lakers that really need to play at a quicker pace and just try and run.
Yes and no. I'm not going to forget, and you're not going to sell me that you have a player in year 20 that is the best style of play for him.
It's the only style of play for this team. That makes sense. It may be
the only style of play, but that's not the best for him. And it's certainly not the best for Anthony Davis. Okay. These aren't young. Patrick Beverley, these aren't young guys. But I agree with you. But however, I don't think that's the best. Now, I'm going to say this in the same breath here. We're talking about what they can't do. Let's talk about what they can do. This team is competing. Now, give them credit. Give them credit. They are competing, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, shout out to the new coach.
In spite of them not shooting well, Mo, this was a tie game in the fourth quarter. So if you want to have something positive to take away, guys, we can't shoot any worse. I don't know. With this group, I don't think you can shoot any worse. If they make a couple shots here and there, Mo, they could have easily won this game. So I want to give them some positive. Anthony Davis, he's played in back-to-back games. It's been a long time since I've said this. He's looked great, in back-to-back games. LeBron has put up some good numbers, and they just didn't make shots. But they compete. They were getting loose balls. They were running when they had opportunities. I thought they did a good job of, playing within what they can do. And they took the shots when they were available. Now, you would hope some nights that those shots go down and then maybe they win that game. But I will give them this. At least I saw tonight at home, they play well. And if they play that hard, they'll win their fair share if they play that hard every night.
Well, here's the thing. Woj came out yesterday and said that they're not looking to trade Russell Westbrook or make any other moves until about 20, 25 games into the season. So until about Thanksgiving. And I've just looked at their schedule. Their schedule looks kind of tough up until then. I'm going to read you their schedule. I want to know how many of these games you think they're going to win. Okay. So they've lost the first two to Golden State and the Clippers. Here's what they've got for the month of October and November. They've got Portland. They've got Denver on the road. They've got Minnesota on the road. They've got Denver at home, New Orleans at home, Utah at home, Cleveland at home, on the road in Utah, on the road at the Clippers, or basically at home versus the Kings, at home versus the Nets, at home versus your Detroit Pistons, at home versus the Spurs, and away at Phoenix. Now, looking at that list, there's only like 4 games where you really can circle and say, okay, they should win these. I don't know how they're going to be looking.
Yeah. Well, what you would think they would win. Winning is very difficult in the NBA. So, in looking at that, on paper, I'm going to say it's probably 3 or 4 wins that I could say confidently that they probably should win. However, if they don't make shots, because you got to shoot well in today's game, along with them defending and doing all the things they are doing, because they are giving effort.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this thing could get ugly real quick.
I want to say one thing, just my last thing on the Lakers here, because we talked about players they let go. We talked about Zubac and Randall and all these guys who they've let go. In the first game, BJ, who was it that scored the game-winning 3 for the Bucks in the first game to seal that victory? It was
Wes Matthews, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who was let go by the Lakers in 2021 and allowed to just leave the team? Not
Wes
be traded
Matthews.
or go and sign elsewhere. They just didn't
Matthews.
re-sign him, and he sat at home until the Bucks picked him up at Christmas time. Just
Wes,
just another poor decision from the Lakers front office. But that's enough about the Lakers, okay? We're not going to do what JJ Redick said and make this a LeBron fan club. We're going to keep it on the court, talk about what we saw. We're going to look at tonight's games.
Let me get that. Hold on. Let me get that out of JJ's back. Okay. All right.
Man, I'm tired of his awful takes on the TV. I don't care anymore. So here we are. We got an action-packed schedule tonight. Look how many games we've got. So, as usual, BJ, let's run through the games. You just give me quick fire who you got. The Pelicans, who looked so impressive against the Hornets.
Right.
Clearly the Pelicans,
right?
Oh,
Pelicans,
Yep.
Pelicans, yes.
The race for Wembanyama continues in Indiana as the 0-1 Pacers host the 0-1 Spurs, who will out-tank the other in tonight's matchup.
I got the Pacers.
Pacers will win? Okay. The Wizards and the Chicago Bulls, who both began their season 1-0.
Woo! DeMar DeRozan right now. They're just going to wear DeMar out. I gotta say this guy's going to play probably well every other game. He can't maintain this pace.
He'll be like the scoring leader until Christmas, like last year.
Yes. I mean, I watched. I had to rewatch that game because I saw it 37. I was like, let me see what's going on. They replayed the game. I was watching the game today, and they just go to him every time down. I mean, it's good right now to be DeMar DeRozan because basically he's just playing. He doesn't have a play. Every night he's like, okay, I just got to figure out how to create space and get a shot off. Even
when there's no space, he's so elite in that mid-range. Obviously, I hope Zach LaVine's back soon, though, because they signed him to that super max.
I do.
Hopefully,
who the Bulls are playing again? Who are the Bulls playing?
Playing against the Wizards.
Wizards.
Yeah, Kuzma, Porzingis, Beal. The Wizards low-key can upset a few teams on a few nights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to say the Wizards.
So then we've got the Orlando Magic, who might be everyone's favorite team to watch this season because just how fun and exciting they are. Going up against the Atlanta Hawks, where DeJounte was really impressive in his debut on both ends of the court. Hawks taking that one. Here's one for you. The Brooklyn Nets play host to the Toronto Raptors. Brooklyn gonna fall into the 0-2 hole like the Lakers and the Sixers.
Mo, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Can I say something? You know how they used to say Brandon Ingram was, some people would say he is the
baby KD.
Baby KD. Well, let's take that baby off. He did a couple things in that game. Like I was like, okay, this is that baby. No, there's not baby here. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm a little concerned. With what I saw in game one. I'm just concerned. Now, it could be one of two things. Either the Pelicans are that good, or something's going on there in Brooklyn that was first exposed by your Celtics. Okay. Now, Mo, I'm just going to say this. I don't want to hear Brandon Ingram. I don't want to hear him described or people say he's the baby anything. Brandon Ingram did some things against KD that I was like, okay. This is like, okay. Mo, I was like, well, all right. I was, all right, young fella. You do you. Now, he's for real. I'm not sure what to think about these Brooklyn Nets. I'm not sure what to think about them defensively, and I don't like their front line at all. Okay.
Claxton and Simmons.
Claxton, Simmons, no. Now, I know Zion is a problem. But I didn't see any level of resistance. Okay. If Mo and I were playing against Zion right now, I can assure you this. He's going to probably get 40 points against us in limited minutes. But I can assure you this. Mo and BJ are not going to walk out of the game with 6 fouls. We're both going to foul out of the game.
I was going to say.
I didn't.
You said 40 minutes. So I was like, we get 10 minutes at best. And he's going back to locker room with the ice pack.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see any resistance by their front line at all.
Yeah.
I don't like this. So I'm going to go with the Raptors. However, I just, based on what I'm seeing, I just keep it on the court. I didn't like what I saw. And I don't like what I'm seeing. And I'm going back to last year.
Well, Joe Harris is going to come back.
First game this year.
Joe Harris is probable to return tonight, which will be a boost for the Nets. But
I don't like their front line. The backcourt is fine.
Let's see if Ben Simmons can go without fouling out again. But yeah, I like the Raptors for this. But then over in South Beach, we got a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics and the Miami Heat go up against each other. Celtics on this one. And I think that early season Miami Heat nightlife is going to be in their favor. The Pistons and the Knicks. This is a tough one for you, DJ. The Pistons and the Knicks. I know you got friends on both sides.
Can I say this? Can I say this, Mo? Must win for the Knicks.
They're 0-1. And they're going up against the young, fiery Piston squad, who are currently looking for a new assistant GM.
Yes.
I got worried when I seen the news earlier. I was like, BJ about to leave the podcast to go be the GM.
I can't leave the podcast because you know what? Well, they wouldn't let me do the job in a robe. So you know what? I get
Don't worry, man. I'll give them a call.
Yeah,
I'll give them a call on your behalf.
I'm going to say this. You know I'm watching every game of my Pistons. You know that. Now I'm rooting for the Pistons, but I think this is a must game for the Knicks. The Knicks got to win some early games because if the Knicks start off 0-4, you know the media is going to be all over these guys, and regardless of whether it's correct or not, the Knicks fan base think they should beat the Pistons.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure they should. But
they should. They just gave a guy $100 million.
And we just got Jaden Ivey.
Exactly. You're rebuilding
We
in the
got
draft,
Ivy.
in the draft lottery. You telling me that a franchise handing out $100 million contracts shouldn't expect to win against a team rebuilding through the draft? They should expect to win. If you're the Knicks and you don't win, you're pissed. You have to. Because if you don't expect to win against the Pistons, who do you expect to win against?
Did you see Duran?
I did.
Did you see?
I did. I was very impressed.
AKA Young C. Webb. That's Young C. Webb.
I remember you
now.
saying yesterday. Luckily for the Knicks, I don't think they're going 0-4 because they got the Pistons tonight, then they got the Magic, then they got the Hornets. So at worst, they go.
Those are 3 games. They better win all 3 of those games. I'm going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Knicks can get past these 3 games, great. But because if they don't,
because after that, BJ, you want to know who they got after that?
Who they got?
The Bucks, the Cavs, the Hawks, the Sixers, the Celtics, the Timberwolves, the Nets. Then we're back with the Pistons. Okay. So they better win these 3.
If they don't win this 3, it's going to be. Going to be. Imagine this, Mo. They could easily be 2-10 or 2-8 or whatever. Yep. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. Then they're going to be questions, and it's New York. So again, if they can get off to 3-1, then you could say they can beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And if they win or sneak out one of those games they're not supposed to win, maybe they could, get through this 4-5 or 4-4. But if they lose one of these games,
So the Grizzlies face the Rockets tonight. How many points do you expect from Ja Morant? I wasn't even going to ask you who you think is going to win. Not how many points, how many highlight plays. How many of tonight's top 10 plays are going to be Ja Morant?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of young energy in the building. So, Green and all those guys, I think there's going to be a lot of young energy. Should be a fun game. Mo, you would enjoy this game because there'll probably be a lot of turnovers in this game. A game you're used to watching.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. But yeah, I'm excited to see this one. We didn't actually get to talk about the other day the number of the turnovers for the Celtics. Do you know how many turnovers they had in that game 1?
I do not.
The Boston Celtics in that first game of the season only had 10 turnovers. And the magic number. So we nice. But
what is it, 16 or 18, right? Is that their turn?
Yeah, 16.
But
the more turnovers in this Rockets-Grizzlies game means the more fast break dunks because they got rid of the take foul rule, which means you can't stop them in transition. So we're going to see a lot more highlights this season, which I love. We've then got the Timberwolves hosting their new star player, Rudy Gobert's former team, the Utah Jazz, which the Timberwolves should win easily. I say should, because the Denver Nuggets were supposed to beat the Jazz too.
I got 2 words. I got 2 words for anyone who's going to Utah this year. Young Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah. Everyone's saying they're trying to tank. Well, somebody forgot to tell Young Bull because Young Bull is coming.
I mean, he is a player that Danny Ainge would typically go after in that Marcus Smart mold of Jaylen Brown.
Tough. Who he reminds me of? Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier. He's just
all
one
the
of those guys
that Danny Ainge drafted.
Yeah.
So it got me thinking, if the Jazz were to somehow get off a few wins here early, do you think they could cancel their tank and just trade all these picks to just?
Well, Danny Ainge is a master of that too. Remember, he got Isaiah Thomas, and they were probably thinking
the Celtics were supposed to tank, and they somehow made the playoffs the next season. So,
yes.
But then we got an interesting one, a rematch of the first round of the playoffs, the Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. I'm expecting the Warriors to handle business. The Nuggets looked horrible in that first game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Here's an interesting one for you, though. We end the night with the Suns versus the Trailblazers.
Give the Suns credit. I mean, they were sleepwalking out there on the court in the first half. And I think everybody, myself included, was like, oh.
Against Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, against Dallas.
It looked like
in the
Game
home
7 had
opener.
just continued from the West.
Yeah,
Conference Finals.
exactly.
But
right?
then they finally had some great leadership, championship DNA at the point guard spot after they benched Chris Paul and put Damian Lee in the game in the fourth quarter.
Wait a minute. Let me take that one. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get that out of here. You know what? Mo, that ran so deep. I don't even know if I can get that out of Chris Paul's back. That went so deep, Mo. You know what?
I wanted to say that yesterday, but I knew you weren't ready. No. I had to say
Chris Paul, I apologize for Mo. You know what?
It's all love. It's all love. I'm just saying. The true NBA champion came in and hit that game winner yesterday. I'm just saying. But do you think they handled business against the Trailblazers?
Trailblazers look good. You know, Trailblazers playing. It's great to see Dame back out there on the court. So, is that one in Denver? In Portland?
In Portland. I like Jeremy I'm gonna go with Portland. He's been doing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Portland. I'm gonna go with Portland.
Man,
your guy Hart. Yeah. You know, yeah.
A little bit of Josh Hart, some offensive rebounds, some playing some hard basketball. Right. And then we got a whole bunch of matchups this weekend. And then we're going to be right back with you guys on Monday morning, nice and early. I kind of feel bad not doing episodes on the weekends, but we got to handle business first and foremost.
I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm ready.
We got to see if the people are ready. We got to see us get to that #1 spot in the podcast charts. And then we can appear on the weekend. So if you guys want, make sure you download the episodes on the Apple Podcast Store. You're listening and subscribed on Spotify, leaving those ratings, leaving those reviews. And we might just have to start working on the weekends as well. Not that we don't work on the weekends. We just have other stuff to do. But yeah, show some more love, guys. We appreciate all of you who tune in, all of you who listen. That's another episode of the Hoop Genius Podcast. BJ, any plans for the weekends besides watching the National Basketball Association?
Well, I'm going to, the store. I'm going to have my wife check. I'm not getting the call from wardrobe. I mean, wardrobe is, it's clear that, you know what? No one's giving me the call. I feel so left out right now. I mean,
Don't worry. No, BJ, you live in LA, it's warm. You don't want to wear a robe in LA, you know what I'm saying? It's hot over there, bro. Over here, it's freezing cold. It's dark outside. It's freezing cold. Yeah, I'm not built for this.
He's got the fresh cut. He's got the fresh fade.
It's the weekend.
He's got the fresh fade.
It's the Friday. It's the weekend.
Fade.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's kind of a. Now I know why you say the vibes. I mean, it's kind of like. I don't think there's anyone else in the media that can pull that off but you.
There's no one, man. If you see me in a robe with a fresh fade, then make sure your wife's at home. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
I'm playing.
Okay.
Anyway, that's another episode. The Hoop Genius Podcast will be back on Monday morning, nice and early for you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. BJ, you have a great weekend. We'll catch you guys next time. Most importantly, unlike the LA Lakers or the Philadelphia 76ers, get buckets.